I'm Tim Carroll.
I'm Oscar Dawson. We're Holy Holy, and you're watching the AU Review.
So you've have one show, one left. Sydney Opera House, Boy and Bear.
That's right.
Yeah. Talk us through that experience.
Amazing, beautiful. Incredible to come over the hill and see the big sales, and it's quite exciting. And it's a good crew down there. They really look after you in terms of like the stage techs and everything. We've been on the road with Boy and Bear now for a couple of weeks, so feeling pretty comfortable with the crew. And it was actually quite relaxed, I felt, yesterday.
Yeah.
And fun.
Yeah.
What has the overall tour been like? You touched on it briefly, but
It's been great. It's a theatre tour, so playing mainly theatres, so bigger venues. They're obviously selling quite a few tickets, but by the time we go on stage as the support act, there's people are sort of in their seats or filing in, and we get a good response. People are seated and they listen, and it's really nice. And playing in the theatres is great. They're big, wide, open stages. Often, the venues have got these big, high ceilings, and the sound can kind of reverberate in this way, which is really wonderful, and it sort of feels quite open. And it's quite nice for us. It's a really good experience.
And with your own music, do you find that some people already know it? And obviously, there's been a few singles that have had some good J play and things like that.
Yeah, it seems like there's the couple of songs that when we start, people kind of make a bit of noise and seem to know them more than others. But we enjoy playing all of them, and there's definitely a lot of songs that will never be singles that are probably some of our favourites.
And it must be good to share it with people that you may not normally have the opportunity to share them with, being in a larger venues, being a support slot, etc.
Yeah, that's great.
That's true. In a sense, there's less pressure on you because you're the support act. You can go out and do what you do, and as it's not your headline show, there's not that pressure. But on another sense, I suppose you also want to try and convert people who might not have heard you before. So it's an interesting little position to be in, but it's fun. It's really good.
Let's talk about the music itself. History is the latest single. Can you tell us a bit about it?
I feel like it's quite a simple song compared to our other two singles in terms of the actual progression and the ideas behind the song. I think it's kind of plays a lot around this kind of groove around the rhythm guitar and this sort of pretty catchy little drum beat that our drummer Ryan kind of put together. And then there's a whole heap of room within that kind of simple structure for Oscar to kind of play around with some interesting textures and builds and so on. It kind of sort of came together, we did it all live in one take in the room, and it came together pretty easily. And it's been interesting to see that, because I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. I wouldn't have been surprised if it just kind of disappeared altogether, but it's gone really well, and I'm enjoying playing it, and it's good. I'm kind of liking it more than I used to.
Does it come out of, with the history track, does it come out of sessions of other material as well? Did you just record that song?
We didn't intend to record it. We were sort of almost, don't think we'd even really finished writing it, and we were recording another song called House of Cards, which was a single we released earlier in the year. And it was, Tim and me and Ryan Strathy, our drummer, and we were taking a bit of a breather. Sometimes when you get in the vortex of a song and you sort of go down the rabbit hole, and you have to sort of bring yourself back out. So we sort of took a break, we brought ourselves out, and we had our instruments, and we were kind of playing this idea that had, we'd sort of been fiddling around with, but hadn't really concluded. And it sort of just came together, and Matt Redlick, our producer, he said, that sounds good. And so he had the mics all up, and basically kind of hit record, and we recorded this bed that we assumed would just be like a demo or something that we could reference later on when we did the real recording. But in the end, we kind of kept it. So, yeah.
And do you think this is a good indication of what's to come in the future from you, or are you not really, do you not think like that, I suppose?
It's a good question. I mean, I'd like to think that each song is kind of its own thing and has its own vibe. I don't think we'll do anything with this exact kind of feel. But I mean, in terms of the palette and where we're headed, I suppose it's sort of like strong kind of guitar lines and percussive ideas, and I'm kind of like discovering more of a kind of full sung out vocal more and more that I'm feeling more and more comfortable with. So that's definitely the direction we're kind of going.
Do you think that will end up in another EP or in a full-length album? Are you already working towards something?
Yeah, there's an album like in the works, which has been in the works for a while. That's like definitely I'm ready to sort of come out. We kind of recorded an album worth of stuff, and then we've been doing a lot of touring and a bit more writing, and we've now got some more things we want to add to it. So we'll probably do another big session, or a couple of small sessions to record like 4 or 5 more songs, and then we'll kind of sit back and look at everything we've got, which will kind of be like an album and a half, and we'll cull it down to what we like the most.
And it's got to represent to where you are now, because if there's some things that were recorded quite a long time ago, then it mightn't quite fit into where you feel you sit now. Yeah,
we're kind of going to walk that balance. But there's a couple of things we recorded towards the beginning of the project that I still like stand behind and really like, and I'm looking forward to them getting out. There was some nice sessions in the early days where there was just a great vibe and good players, and those songs definitely need to come out as well.